Hi, sorry. Mercury's retrograde. So it took me a moment to get back on. So I'm sorry, that was a good minute of just trying to push the right button, I guess I'll say. So welcome everybody. It is morning and I do have my coffee in my beautiful new mug. One of my new mugs. It's my one of my I love it. I love to get new mugs at the beginning of the year, sort of like what kind of mug do I want to have and uh, moodle with. So this is one of my new mugs that I got. It's a very pretty mug. Love it. Love that it's big and it has a good handle and it holds lots of coffee. So there we go. So happy Thursday, everybody. It is Mercury retrograde day. It stationed retrograde and in a double square to Eris. And our second, I wrote this out and it's on my Facebook page. The second of the third Mercury Eris squares is on Saturday. So from Tuesday through Saturday, we have been in a doozy of descent into the underworld, winged messenger. This is coming into with the goddess of discord, yet it is with Venus. So there are gifts to be had. It's like, this Mercury going back and recessing, yet it's showing us that Venus was here and she left us some gifts. And it's for us to be able to decipher these gifts as we are going through a little bit of chaos, a little bit of discord is coming in. And Capricorn demands us to rethink, review, and revise our dogmatic ways of thinking and the rigid authoritarian. So we're entering into it's a not letting our mind take over in the worst way. That's where we're coming into. We are learning and uncovering, and it's patience, and there could be a lot of frustration. And the thing is, with a lot of this frustration that's going to be coming around us, um, gotta let it go and say, okay, I can't fix this right now. I got to move on to something else. So this is going to be about moving on to something else, going towards something else, and the symptomatic ways of the patriarchal obsession has an infinite infiltrated our minds. Thoughts, beliefs, structures, and traditions and ways of being and doing personally and collectively are up for review. And with the double square to Eris is revealing what the shadow big time is, and in her discord and chaotic fashion. Eris is the goddess for the underdog. She is the one, and that's why my peeking into 2023, the year of the underdog. It is about looking at who is that underdog, who is that, and the word peasant comes in, or Serbs. This is where this energy is coming in and saying, okay, we need to look at things because we have an energy of discord, with south node in Scorpio, can really bring in a lot of discord, a lot of dysfunctional energy that gets us to really look at the seedy, underhanded, and we can very much get lost instead of looking at, okay, north node, we want to build, we want to bring in and start to build things in a very positive way. And the moon is in Eris and it is squaring over to, it's the first quarter square over to the sun. And we might be feeling very wounded. We might be feeling like, oh, I can't do this anymore. Eris does not do, with Eris does not do things nicely or sweetly. She doesn't. But the medicine of Eris is like pungent, purgent herbs that does not taste good going down and will ferret out all the toxicity. It's like having a cup of mugwort. I don't know if any of you've had a cup of mugwort, which is actually It's a bitter herb. So anything that's a bitter herb is really good for the stomach. It's really good to really get the system going, to purge it out of toxicities and help you to come into a state because mugwort is really nice for relaxation. So bringing in that relaxation because it's within the relaxing that you're able to bring in the calmness, the peace, and think things over a little bit and allow your body to heal. If you're tensed up, constipated, you're not feeling well and you're constantly clenched and you can't move forward. So we have an energy that really wants to bring in what we may consider bitter and pungent and not exactly what we want. Yet it's good for you, like a cup of coffee. And bring that forth. So Aries does not, as I say, doesn't like to do things in a very kind way. And with the moon in Aries, and it's really getting us to look at our energy about moving forward, our energy of how we can step forward in new ways and not take things, sweep things under the carpet. And this is where by pulling up the carpet, the carpet people have swept all of this shit underneath there. And she forces us not only to look, but to clean it out, to get it out. Let's purge it out. Let's move this shit through. And right now, with as Mercury conjoins Venus and bringing our mind and our heart into union, many times it's difficult to go from our head to our heart. Here we have this energy that wants to bring our mind and our heart together with this Venus conjoins Pluto. And this is where she's revealing the needs to be transformed. We are needing to be looking at the things that we really need to work on. And it's like, you're on a journey and you're working really hard upon this journey and a light goes out. Well, you can't just dismiss that light because the other lights aren't going to work until you fix this one, until you work on, okay, this is what I need to work on. Because many times we'll try and bypass things and try and make it easier. And thinking it's easier, but then we have to come back and redo things. And many of you out there, I don't think like to redo things. So this is where we're revealing what needs to be transformed. We're revealing what needs to be released, purged, and let go of. And we can use this new year portal to be very intentional about the baggage, and we will not be bringing with us into the new year. So, what is it that we really intentionally don't want to be doing again? And I know we do this several, every year, but with Mercury retrograde and actually going into a new year with Mercury retrograde, and this is the fourth Mercury retrograde of the year, is really getting us to really consider how we are thinking about things, how we are going forward. Is it our fear that's holding us back? So this is really having us look into our frequencies and are we on, are these frequencies that we are with, are they really working for us, right? Is this hindering me from going forward? Am I getting over obsessive with things that I really, you know what? They're not mine. They're not mine. It's for me, this has taken a long time to let go of. And one of the biggest lessons is when I work for a company that's not my company. I'm just a worker bee in that company. That's all I am. And in accepting that, I can release things. I am not here. When I'm there, I have the responsibilities to do what I need to do. When I'm not there, I'm not there. That's it. I don't hold the responsibility of things. And that's what we are stepping into and having to really look at. And in doing that, this is going to allow us to be able to focus on the things that are the most important to us, and where we aren't going to be feeling exhausted and tired. And for me, my focus for me, and this is what you for your own selves, is how am I stepping into my spiritual self each and every day? How am I stepping into that energy to be better? Not all days are good, because some days, stepping into it and I just doesn't work out. It can be really crappy. But this is where we have to use this portal to embroil ourselves even more in the toxic, stagnant, patriotic patterns and bring them with us into 2023. And the thing is, these frequencies are on their way out. So if we don't do the work to own them, to deal with them and release them, we will get taken down into the undertow and the revolution of consciousness that is building up now. And this is the best if we face them. So we got to face the shit that isn't working, within our own personal life, but also within our governments, within our institution. In order to change something, you got to understand why it doesn't work. And in understanding why it doesn't work or what's not working, how are you going to take that responsibility to begin to change it? And that's going to be the huge key, Chiron, because Chiron is the key of releasing, of opening up, of looking at this, so we can let go and not be holding on to the energy that is dying. And Venus tensely aspects Mars tonight, which can bring in tension and conflict of energies in romantic relationships and authority figures and siblings and neighbors. So in truth, the whole week is pretty fraught astrology, but as if I've been experiencing it all pretty well within my own life and within the situation, and cutting the cords that I need to cut, and knowing that, okay, certain things that I need to release, and that even, as a mom, understanding, not that it's not that you don't love and want to help your children, but sometimes it comes to a point that you have to release them and say, you know what, you got to figure this out yourself. I can't do it for you. And that's with many things or many lessons that are going to be coming in for us, where others are going to come to us and say, you know what, I can't figure this out for you. You have to figure this out. It's like knowing that the relationship is done and you're like, well, just let me see if there's anything else that I need to learn from this. And you're like, no, you've learned it all. You've seen it all. Now it's time to go through a different door. Now it's time not to hang on to those things. And love means they actually truly get released. Cutting the cords with any other energetic um energies actually created more karma binding. So this is coming from a place of love. This is coming from a place where, yeah, Eris is saying that there's some discord here, and it's going to be bitter, and it's going to be pungent, and sometimes it's going to feel like crap. But the end results are going to be, oh, wow, I have the energy. I have the robustness that I need to move forward in a world that is going through traumatic changes, physically, mentally, and spiritually. And we are stepping into these great transformations because there's some really positive energy here. And we can't get caught up with the craziness of South Node Scorpio, which can bring you into the deceit and the underhand. And we can get really caught up in a lot of the craziness that's unfolding around us, which there's a lot. And instead of saying, okay, what do I need to focus on within my own life, and the energies that I need to carry forward for myself as I step into a new year, a new week, and Mercury retrograde is really helping me to find those gifts that are wrapped up with beautiful Venus intention, which is Venus always likes, beautiful, sparkly things, um, and finding these amazing energies to go forward. And, the amazing image of the god of Thor, Thoth, the Egyptian version of Mercury. Um, he was an associated with the moon, hence the moon on his crown. When you can look this up, showing he was deeply in touch with the lunar currents and his own inner feminine. He did not source from feminine externally because he had access to it along with the masculine within him. So that's the beautiful thing about Mercury, because Mercury can come in and bring forth the masculine, yet bring forth, very strong intuitiveness. And when Mercury's retrograde, it brings in that strong feminine energy. Anybody who has Mercury retrograde within their chart, what I notice is that it doesn't matter, male or female, they have a very strong feminine intuitive side to them, and tapping into that intuitive side. So this is about, for many of us, learning how to integrate this in order to give us that inner strength that we need, and come into this nuttiness, this heavenly celestial mother of that wants to guide us all. And the thing is, Eris is a part of that. Venus is a part of that. We have many beautiful celestial goddesses that are coming forth for us, and all of them have different parts to them. And sometimes the parts that we don't like to look at are the parts that we have to embrace the most. And as we embrace those parts and embrace them, we begin to create a new reality, a new way of looking at the world around us in a beautiful, caring, loving way. So let me pull out some cards. This is my new pack that I got for Christmas. I am looking for a new tarot deck, and I did see, who did I see use one? I think it was the Leo King. He got a new deck, and it was like, oh, I really like that deck. I'm always go back to the Reader Writer deck. It's what I like, and I teach from it when I used to teach too with tarot, with the Reader Writer deck. Some tarot decks, I use them for a little bit, and then the angel tarot deck I really like. I don't know where it went. It's probably in one of my boxes. But it's a beautiful deck. And I've looked at other ones. I got the Witches deck and the Witches Tarot. I never got the Raven deck. Never called to me, So, and I have some really nice Oracle decks too, like Avalon deck and things like that. So the thing about tarot, or the thing about any cards that you have, you got to use them. It's great that you buy them, and sometimes you might get frustrated because you don't understand them right away. But the more you utilize them, the more you're going to align with them and understand the meanings of these cards. It's like this deck here. I don't understand all the meanings of them. I can sort of get the gist of it. That's the way Oracle cards are different than tarot. Oracle cards are channeled by the person who wrote them. So every Oracle deck is different, right? Because it's an Oracle. Tarot decks are basically the same. You have the basis of what each card means. It is so if you got a herb tarot deck, then they might add different herbs onto the picture that coincides with the meaning of that card. Or if you got a crystal tarot deck, then they'll have different crystals that coincide with the energies of that card. So, and that's the same with the goddess cards, or the goddess tarot cards, and the angel tarot cards. They will have the images of those celestial beings, or those goddesses and gods, that coincide with the meaning of that particular card, right? So hopefully that makes sense. Give you a little helping hand. Because it's fun to use your cards, give them that guidance. So let's pull out some earth magic cards. This card is from Stephen Farmer. He is a shaman, and he is a part of Hay House. Funny thing, who he used to be married to. He used to be married to Doreen Virtue. Nasty divorce that was. Wow. That was a real nasty divorce. So okay. So and I pull out the shaman card, the ancient healing wisdom. So bringing in the shaman card, that shamanic energy, and bringing in the ancient healings. And when I think about this, with this card, Eris comes in, because Eris is that ancient healer. When you go into a shamanic healing isn't, let me sprinkle some angel dust on you and some fairy dust on you and chant a few things. A shamanic healing is pungent. It is a bringing you to the depths and extracting what needs to be extracted. And I feel this is perfect because it's bringing in that ancient wisdom, that ancient healing. And sometimes we don't want to look at that. And there's a lot. I mean, if you go into a lot of bookstores right now, it's very difficult to find books on ancient history. So what I have noticed is a lot of people starting to go into and buy ancient books, like fine books from the 1800s or the 1700s. So it is looking at a lot, and even further back, if you can find them still, looking at that history is so important. Looking at that wisdom that comes in there. There's a book written in the 1800s, and it's a spiritual book. Can't remember what it's called. And it was talking about New Year's Eve. And with New Year's Eve, if you bring in the New Year's with a spiritual intent, then you're going to have a very positive year. If you go out and bring in the new year in going out, getting drunk and throwing up, your year is not going to be fully aligned with your intentions. And you're going to find a lot of misalignments with that. And that was written way back in the early 1800s. And, when you sit back and you think about it, it's like, oh, okay, right. There is a group in New York that meditation group that get together every year on New Year's Eve to meditate, to bring in positive energy in not only for themselves but within their community and within the world around them. And it's a very powerful group, and they've been doing this since the 70s. I find that there was a time in my life that I did not want to do this. Like, I did not, I want to go out and have fun and party. And yet, when I look at those years, I find, oh, okay, yeah, the year went kind of crazy. But when I've started to bring in more of the ancient wisdoms and the healings and bring in my intentions in a very positive way and take that time in meditation and prayer and connect with others who are wanting to bring in meditation and prayer for your New Year's. That's bringing in a lot of wisdom, because that's the way the shamans would do it. Let's see what else. And as we bring in, it's like to bring in that rebirth. So we have the spring equinox. So between now, because we just had the winter solstice and the spring equinox, this is a beautiful time. I mean, I love this because this is a rebirthing. Look at what is it between now and March that you are wanting to work on and heal. So that's just a small segment of time. It's only 3 months. So what is it that we want to look at, and what is it that we are wanting to heal? Is there a healing that we need? Is there actual cords that we really need to cut And cutting the cords isn't, I know some people are like, oh, you cut the cords and you never see them. No, cutting the cords means that you're sending them out with love and light. Cutting the cords means it's like, I love you, I care about you, but I don't need to go into your drama anymore. I can sit and have a cup of coffee with you. I can hear what you have to say. But you know what? I don't need to really fall into to the depths, or even saying, no, I don't really want to go for a cup of coffee with you. I'm perfectly fine where I am, and I don't need to step over onto that side. And look at that, because sometimes it may take some time to do that, to heal and heal those wounds within inside yourself, because sometimes when you're doing that, and part of the shamanic energy, in healing, gets you to look at the shame that you had upon yourself. What is that shame? Why did you carry that shame? Not to relive it, but to witness it. And witnessing it means that you can release it. All right. You're not wanting to hold on to it and pull out the old bitch game upon yourself and bring out that inner bitch. No, this is about looking at the truth of, okay, yeah, you know what? There were some times that I really hung on to some real crap here, and I need to let it go. And I'm going to give myself this time between now and the rebirthing of this and the equinox. Plus, we're going into the year of the rabbit. So the rabbit is very cunning. It's very, and she's holding a rabbit too. It's very, a rabbit, little bunnies, they look cute and stuff, but they rejuvenate themselves every 28 days. There's a rejuvenation within them. They want to go out and they want to prosper. So we're coming into this, let me heal, because I can't hold on to other stuff and gain the prosperity and gain the love and gain what I need to gain in this new birthing. I can't hang on to that. I need to go into the ancients. I need to go into that wisdom. I need to go into that cave and allowing for myself to be healed. And within that healing, I can come out and step into that truth and that light. And as I step out in that truth and that light, I have the movement. The river comes in. The river is a movement. The river allows us to move, to come into the ebb and the flow. The river says, let's go. Let's go. I'm going to lead you somewhere. I'm going to lead you somewhere where you know what? We're going to go around that bend. You've never been around that bend? Let's go. And you're going to be fine because you have that wisdom. You have that energy. And that is all part of this Mercury retrograde. That's all part of this first quarter square of us coming into this newness and this light. That's all part of stepping into 2023 and peeking into it. It is, yeah, there's some crazy stuff that's out there and crazy unfoldings. Are we going to put our energy into that and hang on to that? Because this can be a time of really fostering and bringing in some greatness for ourselves and really stepping into it and allowing ourselves to do that. And because we are in this time of reflection, the winter solstice, winter time of reflection, time to allow ourselves to really look at what we need to look at as we step forward in towards a springtime. That's why the light comes back a minute each day and bringing us that light. And the ancients knew that. The ancients understood, the flow of the river, the celestial bodies in the heavens. They understood that and they followed it. And as they followed it, they could see where the times of prosperity were there. And they also knew when there was a time when the earth would be changing, a time when the earth would be, the jet stream is fucked up right now. Ancients knew that. They followed nature. They would follow the bees. What are the bees doing? Right? Oh, the bees are building their hives higher or they're building them lower. They, what other hive did they build? Is it far away or is it close by? If people are starting to see some bees going out of the hive right now, which has happened recently, then they know that there's something else going on because bees don't usually leave the hive. So because they have enough pollination and everything to care for their hive throughout the winter. So they know that it might be an early spring or, what have you. So this is part of the ancient wisdom. This is stepping into the ancient wisdom, and we all have it within ourselves and within our DNA. We just have to take the time to sit and meditate and listen to the quiet inner voice in ourselves, which is can be kind of difficult in a world that is trying to get our attention all the time. So, on that note, I want you to have a blessed day. Have a great Thursday. Step into it one step at a time. You're getting frustrated. Gotta let it go. Don't bang your head up against the wall and continue to do that because it's really not worth it. So blessed be everybody. And if you are interested in peeking into 2023, I came up with the year of the underdog. It's $30. Let me know, and it's going to be on Google Meet. So blessed be everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.